Turn down the volume. There we go. Alright. So let's see here. I'm going to be starting off doing a character I already finished inking. But I'm going to be finishing her out today with the final ink process and all that. I just got to find it, because I don't think I transferred it over to this thing, to my iPad yet. There we go. Good stuff for airdrop. So I'm using a different layout today, just slightly. I have, you can actually see it in the reflection here. I got it on an arm here, my webcam. And it seems like it's a better angle. You can see more of the screen, so it should be good. Alright, so open it up in Procreate. Let's see here. Beautiful. Alright, so just to show you guys what I've been working on kind of in between streams. So yesterday I was streaming on Instagram, and this is a piece I finished. I drew Mombi, and actually let me see if I can up the brightness a little bit. I'll just have it bright for now. Yeah, that looks better. Alright, let me see if I can focus it more. There we go. Alright, let me lower the volume a little bit better. Alright. So it's not focusing the way I want it to. Come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. Well, you can see it decent enough. So this is Mombi, an antagonist I drew for the book that's dropping next month. First time designing her. Pretty happy with how it came up. Not as much happy as the background character, but that's the best thing about character design. You can always change things later on. So I got an idea of how I want him in the background to look. Her, I'm pretty happy with, but him, like the face, I'm happy with. The body, not so much. So I'll fix that at a later point. But yeah, I just wanted to show you guys also for my YouTube, because this is going to be hopefully on Twitch and YouTube, but we'll see. But where did I test some things out, test the waters here. That's what I worked on last stream. I was doing kind of like a t-shirt design. I'm not really too happy with this. I love the lemon. I don't really like the cake that much. I don't really care for how the cake looks. And so it's supposed to say, if you don't get it, when life gives you lemons, make chocolate cake to leave people wondering how you did it. So I thought it was kind of cool. It's a quote I saw off the internet, and I thought that's a good quote. I censored it, obviously, if you're familiar with it, but yeah, I'm gonna come back to this eventually and touch it up. I don't know what I'll do. I'll probably redesign the cake. That might be all it really needs, to be honest. I'm just not really happy with the cake. Everything else is okay, but I don't know if I would buy it if I saw it in store. I don't know. But you can see some of the other stuff I worked on here. Clone Wars thing I did a little bit ago, just to kind of show the tragedy of the clone troopers through the whole Clone Wars saga of Star Wars. You really feel for them, especially when you consider not the Legends version where they were just trained to believe that the Jedi were always meant to be betrayed, but instead it was a chip in their head. I think that signifies even more so how big the overall what's it called? Overall thingy. It's not a thingy, you know what I mean? What's it called? Wow. Pawn. Dude, I said at the beginning and it just flocked out of my head. But actually, I don't know. What is worse? Maybe knowing they were willingly did it and then they just got kicked off. I don't know. Maybe that's worse. I don't know. But who knows? Alright, so I guess we'll get started on the actual piece I wanted to do today. This is Alice, one of my OG characters. I haven't drawn her in years, and now I finally get to draw her again. Long story short, this is how she looks currently, but she used to look a lot different, and I'll show you a example of what I mean here. for those who aren't familiar with my work. So back in the day, that's how she looked. And is there anything wrong with that? No. I actually loved the way she looked, and it's not focusing. Dagnabbit camera. Where's your autofocus at? Focus. Come on. I don't know why it does that. I gotta fix the settings or something. But anyway, this is how she looked. A buddy of mine designed this for me a couple years back. But as I grew as an artist and developed my story more and whatnot, I decided that I needed to figure out a new style for her, and that fits the new background and story for her and a bunch of other characters I've been working on. So, without any further ado, let's get to it. And by the way, I apologize for the video going in and out of focus. I'm going to try and fix that for next stream. I don't know why it's like not doing that. I don't know why it's doing that for this one, but I'll be sure to adjust that. So, I make sure to usually be on the right layer. Last time I folded with that. This time I'm going to do my utmost best to not mess up. So, here we go. So start on the layer. On the right layer, lower this so I can overlap it just right, and we shall go from there. Oops. I'm still kind of learning this app too, so oops. I'm trying to get the angling right. I'm going between like my camera and my camera and my microphone right now. It's pretty awkward. Wait, where's my... I forgot my handy dandy glove. Alright, so let me put this on real quick, and then we'll get started. Not too bad. I mean, I started the stream explaining some stuff, showing some cool artwork. It's kind of cool before getting into the main event, Plus on stream, there's no one really in here yet, so. But usually, it is a random stream, so that kind of makes sense. I'm trying to get a overall schedule together, but it kind of fluctuates because of life. But that's how it goes. I'm gonna try and make her look as crisp as possible, because this is gonna be the look I'm gonna give her when she's on the cover. I don't think she's going to be on the cover of the next book in this post. I think it's going to be the third book I'm working on. But either way, I am super excited. Because I'm a big fan of her new look, and I wanted to make sure that the new look I gave her still honored the original design, at least to some degree. So... trying to channel my inner Tetsuya Nomura / Craig McCracken, Gendy Tartovsky, all the dope artists out there that inspire me on the daily. Oops. I think I made her look a little older than what I meant to, but that's not a big deal. Although I do admit, it's kind of like with the comics, whenever you're looking at a design of something, of the cover, and you're like, oh man, this is gonna be so dope, this art is so cool, and then you go into the comic and it's like, wait, this is not only a different art style, but whatever happened on the cover did not happen in the book. Oh man, and people get mad at clickbait on YouTube. Hey man, the comics do it too. Actually, the industry as a whole does it, but I mean, can you necessarily blame them? Yes, but that's not the point. So if you're watching this on YouTube, or if you're watching this like on Twitch after the fact, feel free to like answer these questions still, whether it's DMing me on Instagram or leaving a comment on YouTube, whatever. I'd still like to hear y'all's thoughts on this. But what is y'all's, if you use this app, for instance, what is the favorite brush you use? Do you use Syrup? That's the one I use as of late. Before that, I used to go with the Studio Pen. down here, and it was okay. I like it, but I feel like syrup still gives me that butter, gives me that butter feeling when I'm drawing, and I love it. But typically if I'm drawing something, I'll tend to sketch it out usually with the 6B pencil, I think it is. Let me see here. Yeah, 6B pencil. I usually use that, but that's if I'm roughing out an actual sketch. If I'm not, then I usually just do this because as of late, I've been doing a lot of tracing sketches, but you know, they're my own artwork, so why not? Why not redo them and just make them better? Because when I was younger, before I started getting into digital, I used to always just look at all the digital artwork and thinking, man, if I could just learn how to do this stuff, it would be so good. And then I see people knock it out of the park with traditional artwork, and I'm like, oh man, I gotta do that too. And I'm at a decent middle ground. But I am starting to see that despite all the awesome things I've learned, hit the wrong button. Despite all the awesome things I've learned with traditional artwork, I definitely find that I still have the most fun with digital. Especially when it's all just on one thing, you know? I think that's what makes it the most fun. Is especially if you're traveling, all you need is your iPad and you're good. You know, just make sure it's charged. Otherwise, it's nothing but just dead weight. Yeah, other than that, it's pretty dope. I actually remember when the Apple Pencil first came out, and I was thinking, dude, who is gonna pay that much money for a pencil, for a stylus? And then I started to realize, oh, there are plenty of reasons why. Like, for one, the pressure point on this bad boy is insane. And I've tried a bunch of different ones, and it's just butter, like I said with the brush. It's amazing. But it's just, while thinking about the different things I had considered when I was younger, just like, man, who would do this? Who would do that? Who can buy this? Who can just all these different things, not realizing how awesome they really were. Now, mind you, I like pretty much everything, and I'm on the mind frame where you can get things from the dollar store and create masterpieces. You know, you don't need expensive things to create art. You can get whatever you want, whatever you're comfortable with. Now, mind you, yeah, the quality is going to be different, but not always. You know, there are people I could see just getting like $100 tablet and getting just a generic art app and be able to create something amazing. It's yes, it comes down to the tools of the artist, but it also comes down to the artist as well. What can you create? It's I mean, yeah, the whole what is it called? The artist, or no, that's one of them. What I just said, but the they're not as good. You're only as good as your tools, or something like that. I mean, yeah, to a degree, but if you got that experience, my boy, oh, you gonna kill it. You gonna knock it out the park. Now, with this one, I'm not trying to get the lines as crispy as the original picture, because I want to make sure that it's still my own. Whereas I'm trying to make it feel like it's still my own piece. I made her head too big still. I forgot about that. Dang nabbit. So shoot, I might stick with it. It's not really a big deal if her head's a little big. So what I forgot about was when I drew this originally, I forgot that I made her head too big in the original sketch, and I thought, yeah, I want to move it over to digital. I'll just resize it and go from there. I mean, technically, I still could. I could just erase this part real quick, erase this, and then just shrink what I drew. But I don't know. Because if I shrink that, it's going to shrink this too, and then everything will be kind of off. Decision. Let me try to focus it again. The lighting is way off in this room. Like, it's bright in here, but for some reason, the camera's like, nope, it ain't dark. It ain't bright at all. But I guess it makes sense since it's trying to focus on the screen here. I think I'll just leave it alone. It's not really a big deal. Shoot, who knows? I might stick with that idea of giving her a big head. You never know. It's not like it's astronomical. It's not a MODOK head. By the way, is anyone excited for that new MODOK show that's coming out? It looks actually really fun. Weird that it's coming out on Hulu though. But either way, it's good that we're getting other things, Marvel, outside of what we got with Winter Soldier, or Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Loki, and WandaVision. All three, well, 2 out of 3 have been phenomenal. Not sure how Loki's going to turn out, but it looks promising. It definitely does. And MODOK from the trailer looks really funny. I know some people were kind of like, about WandaVision and the Winter Soldier, but I had fun. I think they were good additions. Like, they could have definitely been their own movies. Now, it would have been good. I don't think so. I think the best way to do it was making them shows, because if you think about it, each episode was like an hour long, so those would have been way too long, and they would have had to cut out a lot of stuff. And granted, if they trimmed some things, they might have gotten away with it, but I don't think it would have been worth it. Going the TV show route was definitely the best thing to do. I remember the first time I drew this character, man. It was so surreal. So, I guess this will be the first time I actually talk about this character on my YouTube channel, I think. I don't think I've talked about her all on my podcast or anything, but so the origin of this version of Alice came about when I was designing a tattoo design for this coworker of mine. At the time, I didn't know it was a tattoo design. I just thought it was a picture he just wanted me to draw. But it was drawing Red Riding Hood. It was drawing Red Riding Hood from this fighting game, and I thought, this character is pretty dope. I really like this character. And ever since then, I'm like, dude, I want to start using these nursery rhyme type characters in my stories. And of course I do have Red Riding Hood in my story. She actually appears relatively soon. I don't remember if I have her appear in the first book or not. I think if I do, she's in there briefly. But yeah, her... Oh shoot, I hit the wrong button again. It looks good. Okay, I don't think I did anything wrong. But what was I talking about with this? It was, oh yeah. So I know with Alice, she does appear. She definitely appears in the first book. And after that, she becomes more prominent. But she's not as well focused in this book. But in time, she will be. but I forget what made me design her with this outfit. I forget what. Because I knew I didn't want to give her the same. I know I didn't want to give her the same design as the OG Alice from Wonderland, like the Disney one, for instance. I know I wanted to take inspiration from that, and also the books, of course. You know, pay attention to the source material. But I knew from there I wanted to definitely make her my own and make her as unique as possible. Like, I remember the best thing that people have talked about when it comes to character design is when you look at a character and you can tell it's a trademark, a historical, just a dope character design is the moment that character is silhouetted, you can instantly tell who it is. You know, you can tell who Homer Simpson is if he was silhouetted. Genie from Aladdin, Courage the Cowardly Dog. You know, you can tell these characters who they are if they're silhouetted. But at the same time, that doesn't hold for every single character out there. So it's kind of subjective, I would say, but I think for the most part, I think that's a pretty good rule to live by. Not to the T, like I said, because it is subjective, to be honest. Not every single character, especially the more realistic you go, not every single character is going to be identifiable from the silhouette alone. But ideally, with character design when it comes to cartoons, oh yeah. If you can get that going, bruh. That's what I like to live by. I think that's a really... I forgot who said that, though. I wish I could remember who talked about that. It was like a while back. I think it was a podcast I listened to. I think it was the Bancroft Brothers podcast. Yeah, I'll go with that. I mean, I've listened to a lot of their stuff. Oh, you know, maybe it was the Nickelodeon one. Oh, dude, I'm so sad the Nickelodeon one isn't a thing anymore. So, if you guys are into podcasts, I want to shout out a couple that are definitely worth a listen. So, there's the Nickelodeon Animation Podcast. I think it might only be available on Apple, but don't quote me on that. Just look up Nickelodeon Animation Podcast and you'll probably find it. And what they did was they brought people on to interview them, whether it was storyboard artists, the creators of the shows themselves, just artists in general, writers, you know, everyone in that family tree. And they would just talk about what it was like working on that particular show or just working in the industry, a mixture of things. And I'm pretty sure if it wasn't the Bancroft Brothers, it was definitely that podcast that talked about it. So, but I gotta listen to that podcast again. They didn't do a lot of episodes. They did maybe around, what was it? Probably around like 50, maybe 50 episodes or so. I mean, that is a lot, but considering ongoing podcasts, you know, they just keep going and going and going. But then again, technically, if it had to stop, that's a decent number to start off at. But I'm wondering where they went. It's not like Nickelodeon went bankrupt or anything. They're still doing stuff, so it's kind of, I don't know why they stopped, but well, I mean, it was a good series. Maybe they'll come back eventually, because they never did like a, hey, this is the end episode type deal. They just kind of stopped making stuff. So I don't know. So I think I'm pretty much almost done with the line art. I just have to do the diamonds in her leggings and then do that, and then I can actually start coloring it, and I can probably take away the background. Oh no, I gotta do the line work down here too. Okay, so making pretty good progress. Now this is the easiest way I do it. I think what my buddy Nate used to do was he would I think put a he would put an actual diamond pattern and just kind of like shrink it onto where it needed to be. And that was pretty cool. I think he used Photoshop though, which makes sense. I remember watching him draw in like the Drawfee channel. I think the Drawfee channel draws in Photoshop. And I think that's pretty cool. I remember when I got Photoshop, I'm like, man, I can't wait to draw on the computer. I'm just gonna get a bamboo stylus, just go ham sandwich on stuff. And then I got a tablet, then I realized, oh, this is much better for me. Now, fortunately, I have a pretty good computer now, as far as like being able to stream to Twitch from it, record my podcast and all that stuff from it. You know, pretty simple stuff, nothing really crazy. But I figure, I might as well not push it. I'm happy that I can stream from it and record my podcast. That's all I really needed to do. Okay. I'm digging it. I keep zooming out just to make sure I'm not missing anything. Because every time I do, I'm like, wait a minute. Oh, I got mixed up. I forgot to shout out those other podcasts. So, yeah, check out the Nickelodeon Animation podcast. Animation, yeah. And then check out the Bancroft Brothers podcast. There's like one other one I listen to that's related to drawing. But if you check them out, you'll see some other really cool suggestions. I love that stuff. Give me 1 sec. I gotta handle something real quick. Okay. I am back. I really do love those transition things that we can do on here. Alright, so I just had to get a bottle over to my daughter real quick. But I am back. Alright, so here I'm kind of working on some ink splatter almost. So I got some ink blotches. Hey, Cricket, what's up, man? How you doing? What's bracking? I don't know why I always have to introduce people on this stream like that, but it just feels right. Hey, so to catch you up on what I've been working on, I'm just going over my traditional piece digitally. So I'm just doing the inking for the line art for her now, and then I'm going to start coloring her and all that good stuff, basic stuff. Not bad. I did a little test yesterday, and I found out a lot more about Twitch. So, for instance, I just thank you, I appreciate that. I just realized that Twitch has grown to be a lot more user friendly than I realized. I guess that makes sense because so many people use it nowadays. They had to get with the times or be forgotten by the next best streaming platform, right? So, for instance, I'm still not happy with Twitch not like keeping the videos just archived on there. I know they keep them on here for a while, but they eventually do delete them. But that's when I realized, oh, you have an option to export them to YouTube right after they're on the website, which is pretty dope. So I did that with I think my first couple streams, and I'm gonna do it with this one as well. And just from now on, just well, at least the videos that I like. So I'm pretty happy about that. And just figuring out stuff. I don't remember if I did this stream before with this new layout, but I have a new layout. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm using the Twitch. I'm using this Twitch Studio that they have. So it's a program you download and you can just stream from your computer with your microphone and stuff. Because before that, I was just using my phone. So I have my Logitech camera with this arm on the desk, so it's a little higher with the angle so you can see more of the screen. And I'm using my blue snowball microphone. So I'm pretty happy with this layout. It's really cool. So that's something different than from the last stream. So just to update, because I don't think, I know I did one other stream before this with this setup, but I don't remember who was on that stream. But yeah, but I'm pretty happy with it. I am doing an earlier stream than normal, so this stream may not have a lot of people joining it because of that. Because I normally stream at 1 and it's 11 a.m. right now, or 11:30. But my baby fell asleep, so you know what that means. It's time to start working. Take advantage of that sleep. So she looks a little bit rougher than I thought she did, but I guess that's because the other fine art below it looks cool. But well, awesome. I'm glad she thinks so. So this is Alice, as the title says. I don't know if it'll be changed when I have it on YouTube, but this is Alice, one of my favorite OC characters I've made, and I'm just redesigning her because it was just time. Lately, I discovered that as I'm going through a bunch of my characters and realizing it was time to change a lot of them, just whether it was condensing characters or just making them some more simplified to go with the new style I have and stuff like that, just doing all that. I started to realize that Alice is definitely going to have to be one of those ones I just change. So, but oh yeah. When the baby is asleep, it is time to make... Crap, I was trying to rhyme. I couldn't think of anything. Well. I can rhyme sometimes. Yeah, that's something... I think, I don't know if I did a podcast about that yet, but there is an episode... That's something I always tell people, especially when they're new to art, is don't be afraid to not like what you drew, because eventually you'll want to redesign it anyway over time, and you can always play around with it. It's not like, oh, this is the definitive, nothing ever is gonna change ever. Oh, Mooney, what's up, bro? What's up, bro? How you living? What's brackin'? Glad you enjoy it. So here's a zoom out of it so you can see it real quick. My I don't know why my Logitech will not like focus. Just stay focused on it, but whatever. I probably said that like 1,000 times in the video already. Well. So when I drew Ozma the other day, I started to think of a new thing with coloring Alice that I never thought before. So I think like Ozma, I'm gonna give her like these yellow poofs, and then the bulk of her hair will be a mixture of the black and gold. But I figured I might as well just go with that. There we go. Gotta make this as crisp as possible. Because if I do this correctly, I'm hoping I can use this drawing as one of the next book covers, which would be phenomenal. Oh yeah, yeah. Ozma and Alice are related in this story. I won't say how, but you will find out. As you'll find out a little bit in the book, in the first book, but it'll be fully explored in the second book because the first book has a lot of interesting twists and turns that will hopefully keep people guessing as to what's really going on because it's part mystery, but there's going to be a lot of things going on in that story. But yeah, they are definitely related. That's definitely true. And I wanted to establish that look that I wanted to make sure that even if they don't have even if they don't have similar facial features and stuff, there are still similarities enough between them where you can tell, okay, these must be related in some regard, even if it's not intermediate. Um, Wait, was this supposed to be black and then a golden? Nah, I'll keep it like this. I'm starting to play around with it more. I'm like, maybe I should do the inner gold and the outer black, but I'm like, nah, I'll do the outer black, I'll do the inner black and the um, outer gold. Oops. But yeah, there's a sisterhood thing, and that's not a spoiler because, like I said, there's a relation between the two that's not that could be intermediate. It could not be intermediate. You don't know. You may not know until the second book. But anyway, yeah. Oh yeah. So the funny thing is with Ozma, she has more of a painty thing going on with her painty thing. Oh man, I love that. But with Alice, hers is more ink. But there's still a cool similarity relation with that with the two. It's still in the same kind of vein. I need to erase that. There we go. Yeah, because I'm trying to make sure that these books with the characters I'm using that are public domain, like Alice and Ozma, TikTok, I want to make sure that with these characters, I want to use them in ways that when people look up these characters, whether it's just looking up reference pictures of Alice, whether it's American McGee's Alice or Disney's Alice, Tim Burton's Alice, whatever. I guess both Tim Burton and regular Disney, but you know what I mean. The 1930s Disney and Tim Burton's Disney. When they see those Alice's, one day I would love for my versions of these characters to come up with those search selections too, and that would be just amazing. I really want them to stand out and really make people go, "Oh snap! What is this?" Yeah, that looks good. I like that. Plus, for some reason, I just really love the big paintbrush, big ink pen thing. I guess it's pretty much my homage to Kingdom Hearts because I always have to include some type of relevance or similarity, some reference to that, I should say, just because it's just my favorite game of all time. I gotta show some love somehow, you know. That's like one of the closest way I can without totally ripping off the design. Oh, definitely, definitely. Um, Book one will be posted launch day. Best believe that. I'm a little behind though with the first book. I'll probably have to release. I'll probably have to wait until, or excuse me, I'll probably have to release the book at the end of the month just to make sure I have everything written out correctly and just to make sure I have as little typos as possible. But we'll see. Oh yeah, yeah. Even from the original picture, like you'll see it the most there. Let me pull it up real quick. So I don't know if you saw this before in the Discord, but this was the original picture for my very, very first book. And you can probably see from the logo font to the kind of just the style of how the cover is very Kingdom Heart-esque. And when I went to my first Comic-Con to showcase this book to people, that was the first thing they picked up on. Like, that was one of the questions. And of course, I got to make sure I capture that same pose because it's just an iconic pose for Alice. Oh yeah, without a doubt, it is definitely my muse. It's one of the things I go to most whenever I want inspiration for something. Whenever I hear the music, whenever I just listen to podcasts about it or just whatever. Like, that's why on my podcast I talk about the I'm going over the retrospective, so talking about the worlds, just the game, just going through the game, almost like a playthrough, almost. But just talking about what's so dope about each world, what I like about it, and just take my time, really do a deep dive on it all. Yeah, I'm pretty much obsessed with it. I can't lie. I'm just super obsessed. But fortunately, I'm one of those good fans. Like, I understand. Ooh, excuse me. Ooh. Oh, the worst is when you burp and then you smell it. It just goes right back in your nostrils. Ugh. Excuse me. I feel gross. um. Oh shoot. What was I saying with this? Dagnabbit, that burp messed me up. Ah, that sucks. I cannot remember what I was saying. That is such a bummer. Well. Well, hopefully you'll remember what I was saying, because I really... I remember now. Um, the... what was it? I thought I had it. I thought I had it. It was something regarding... Oh, the fandom. The fandom, that's what it was. Like, I'm one of the types of fans that acknowledges the stinkers. Yeah, I'm not toxic, fortunately. I'm glad to say I'm not. And yeah, the toxic fans, it's ridiculous. What's bad when I refuse to look in the comment section of certain Kingdom Hearts yeah, media. I'll just say media instead. Like when Melody of Melody, what in the world? When Melody of Memory came out, I avoided the comment section because I knew people were gonna like it, but at the same time, I'm like, I'm not looking at it. So what are her colors? One's supposed to be orange and one's supposed to be gold, like her hair. So let me do orange here, just to just to make it different. But oops, wrong layer. But yeah, I always try to avoid that stuff. But yeah, at the same time, I can acknowledge. I'm not blind. I can acknowledge when there's some stinkers in the games. Like, Each game has some redeeming qualities, but let's be honest, Recoded is rough. It's fun, but it's rough. Rechain of Memories, fun but rough. Even BBS. I mean, it's a shame that these games were released on the smaller consoles. Because imagine if they were released on as full-fledged, like full capacity. There we go. On like the PS2 back in the day, they could have done more with the platform and just achieve more. It would have been a lot more fun. But it's whatever. I don't know if I should keep her with the blonde eyebrow or make it black. It's tricky. Oh, well, I'll be honest. I actually do like Recoded, but I don't love Recoded. I think it was cool, but I think it was not really needed for the story. I think it was just a cash grab. Yeah, I mean, I can't lie. I really liked it when I first played it, and even though I rage quit it, I still like it to this day. But that being your first game, oh man. Well, I'm glad you're still a fan after playing that. It's pretty crazy thinking about it. Like, it's pretty crazy thinking about how that was people's first game. Like, every game in the series was the first game for people, and it's just like whoa. Like, three was the first game for a lot of people, I'm sure. I mean, that's a good game to start off with as far as gameplay and stuff goes, but man. Yeah, that. I like that they tried to make the Alice in Wonderland world in that game unique, but man, that was wild. Because I always wanted Alice in Wonderland to return, but what I always wanted was to have like a almost like an Olympus Coliseum thing in two, where one side of it is the OG Disney version, and then you flip it, and the other side is the Tim Burton version. I think that would have been kind of cool. And just imagining them all interacting with each other, oh, that would have been so fun. I would have really liked that. But I don't know. I think Alice in Wonderland had the most potential to be a lot better than what it was, but they kept trying things that just didn't work, unfortunately. Oh, really? Oh, man. I found out about the game from my buddies I used to hang out with, and I went over their house one day, and they were like, "Dude, you gotta check out this new game." Now, before that, before they showed me Kingdom Hearts 1, I remember seeing a Game Informer that talked about it. It was like a preview, and I thought, who are these three girls with Sora, Donald, or excuse me, who are these three girls with Donald and Goofy? You know, I knew I watched a lot of anime, but to me back then, Sora, I keep mixing the characters. Sora, Riku, and Kairi, they all looked like girls to me at the time. So I was just like, I mean, this looks interesting. I love Disney, but what is this? And then finally, like a month or so later, I go over their house and play it, and I'm thinking, oh, this is amazing. I need to buy this game now. And I never looked back. And of course, I find out, oh, okay, only one of them is a girl. That makes sense. Ooh, I just got a follower. Oh, snap. Miss Fear, what's up? Thanks for the follow. I appreciate that. Glad to see you join the stream. How you doing? What's good? I'm just working on my character design here, just drawing her out, getting a feel for her look and whatnot. But yeah, good to see you on the stream. Oh no, you're at work. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Oh, thanks. I appreciate that. How long are you gonna be at work for? Did you just get there, or are you gonna be off soon? What's up? What's up? And oh yeah, I'm gonna say it again. Thank you. I really appreciate that. This is one of my favorite characters, so I got to make sure that she is at her best. Till 6. So, oh, okay. So, if I remember correctly, you're 2 or 3 hours ahead of me. I think, because it's 11. It's 11:55 where I am. So if I'm correct, you don't have too long left, but I know every minute at work feels like an hour. So I totally understand. Oops. Oh, where did that smudge come from? Oh, dang nabbit. All right, let me just do this. Oh, no. Wait, is it on that layer? Yeah, it is on that layer. Ah, jeez. Oh, it's 155. Okay. Okay. Not too long. Not too long. Well. I can just go over that with black real quick. Sweet. I was hoping I didn't mess that up. Alright, so I kind of want to make the nose different, but well. Oh, yeah. I guess that is one good thing. I mean, depending on what you can do during the slow hours, but what do you, are you able to, like, do anything? Well, I just asked a stupid question. I was like, so are you able to do anything fun while there's slow days? And here you are on stream. I'm like, oh, wait, it just clicked. Okay, that's good. At least you're able to chill on stream. Yeah, I don't. Fortunately, I'm guaranteed always off on Sundays, but yeah, I always have a special love of Sundays for some reason. I always think Sunday is just like uber special. Like ever since I was young, I always just like, man, it's Sunday, it's awesome. Like this is just unbelievable. Okay, so what was her color scheme for her outfit? See, my only complaint with this character right now, and I said this at the beginning of the stream, her head is too big. But I don't want to mess with it. Okay, so I think I'm going to stick with the same color scheme that she has here for the most part. So the original design of Alice, she has purple, dark purple, blue, and the tan cargo shorts. You can't really see the cargo shorts in this, so I'm probably not going to bother with that. But I think for the most part, I'm going to stick with that. Oh man, yeah, I really don't want to mess with the head at all. I mean, it's a little too late to do that now, but it's not really a big deal anymore. I'm over it. I gotta change something here. Hopefully this is correct. I don't know. It looked like she needed some edging, some edges right there. And oh, you know what? I think I know why it doesn't look right. It's supposed to be yellow. Hmm. Maybe if I change the eyebrow to black, maybe? I don't know. Oops, wrong layer again. Ah, dagnabbit. I don't know. What do you guys think? You think I should change the eye? Like, she looks good, but something feels off for some reason. I don't know. Hmm. I cannot tell. I'm thinking if I'm gonna try and switch her eyebrow to black real quick. Oh, hey. Hey, you want the TV on? Don't worry, sweetie. I'm almost done. I'll put the TV on for you, though. Oops. Let me do this real quick. Alright. You might hear the TV on for the last couple minutes here. So I'm streaming for about 56 minutes. I'll end it at the hour mark. But I think we made some pretty good progress for this stream. It's kind of funny. I actually thought I was going to finish her completely in this stream in like an hour, but... Okay, so that actually looks a lot better. It's funny how that works. Because I've noticed a lot of times with characters, they'll have different color hair, but their eyebrows will usually be black. Now I see why. For some reason, it just looks... It typically looks better. I don't know why. But, yeah, I don't know. Well, I'm glad that we were able to get some people on here. I know this was a random stream, but it's good that we were able to get some people. Because I know instead of my normal 1 o'clock streaming, being a couple hours ahead is definitely a little different. Okay. Yeah, it looks okay. That's an okay part to end the stream on, I guess. Just doing this. Can I do the overlap or the drop? No, I can't, because I didn't have that part. All right, now I can do it. Booyah. I can always touch it up later too, because it looks a little rough, but it still fits, I think. Hi, sweetie, I know. You're excited, huh? All right. So we have officially hit the hour mark, and not bad. I'm actually, let me refocus here. Okay, that's not bad. So the drawing was a little slow, but I definitely wanted to take my time with this, really feel out the picture and not rush, because it's a meaningful picture to me. It's a very meaningful character. I wanted to make sure I just hit it as accurately as I can to the original, and I'm really liking the direction it's going. And I'm really glad. I'm really glad I did this on stream. This is definitely a character I wanted to definitely get on here and just showcase, because she's definitely one of my most proudest characters, and I'm glad that I'm able to keep her with me through all this change and whatnot I've done over the years with my work. But just want to say thank you all for joining the stream. I really appreciate you all being here. Should be back to the regular schedule next week, but you never know. Things, life, especially with kids, makes it a little different, but glad to see y'all here regardless. Until the wind hits our sails yet again, I'll see you in the next escape. And until then, this is I.Escape signing off.